Friends, welcome to the channel. My name is Hako. In this video, we're going to be talking about the hottest new potato on the Zenless block, and it is of course the rodent team or the vermintide team, whatever you want to call them. I'm sure you've heard the buzz, and the buzz is regarding a team consisting of M2 Alice, M2 Jane, and M2 Joshua, and some people, they have a little bit of a problem with just how strong that team is. And as someone that has played that team, I thought I'd weigh in on my thoughts on the matter. So I'm gonna break this up to 8 talking points, something that Alice would have loved because she does love the number 8. Number 1, the creator experience during this patch has been kinda insane, honestly. And especially with regarding Alice, there was stuff going around with Joshua as well, but let's focus on Alice. At first, the main complaint I kept hearing was, oh, Alice is just a Jane power creep, and also they don't work together, and people were upset about that. And I've noticed this to be a pattern. If it's a well-beloved character, as soon as someone comes and takes the crown out of them, people will be kind of furious and adamant that that's not the case about that, no matter how much evidence you bring forward. And I do get it in some ways because, it's more fun to have the best physical anomaly DPS in the game rather than, have it delegated to being the second best one. What I don't get are the people that just close off the ears and go, la la la, you're wrong, to try to, preserve their character as the top dog. But I do get it. I've been in the gacha space for a long time and I'm used to, seeing the top of the line characters being decrowned. So the first complaints was, oh, they will not be working together. Anybody who thinks they will work together is coping. They are bad together and Alice is just a power creep. Well, it turns out now that, the tone has kind of shifted to now the complaint is, oh, they work too well together. And they need to be nerfed if they are at a specific investment. So that has been my creator experience on the creator server leading up to Alice's release, which is happening tomorrow. It's been a very wild ride. My job is to make content, showcasing everything there is, and giving you as much information as possible to make more informed decisions when it comes to the game. So that's number 1, that's my creator experience. Now, number 2, so what's actually going on? So this all started with some Chinese content creators on the creator server showcasing different runs of a full M2 team consisting of M2 Alice, M2 Joshua, and M2 Jane, clearing content faster than a full M6 R5 Miyabi team, Evelyn team, etc. And the primary focus was in Critical Shiyu, where I think the Alice team beat it in 16 seconds and the Miyabi team in 27. I'm sorry if I'm misremembering the exact numbers, but quite a bit faster than a Miyabi team. And this especially has the wailing Miyabi fanbase up in arms. Now for number 3, why is this happening? Why is the M2 Alice and M2 Jane team so gosh darn strong? Well, it all boils down to the fact that Jane is able to crit with her assaults, and this is something that she can pass on to teammates. And back in the day, before Jane's original banner even dropped, I pointed this out as being a key thing, that you have to take into consideration when you consider pulling for Jane. Now, it would be great if I can find the actual clip of me saying that. I'll see what I can do. But back then, I basically said that the next physical anomaly character, either they need to also come with this feature in their kit, or Jane might possibly be their best teammate because she can pass it on to them. And lo and behold, here we are today. Now, at base kit, they are a very, very solid team. They are not the best in slot, and Vivian, for example, instead of Jane, in an M0 Alice team, wins out slightly over Jane, even though it is very competent. Now, I want to introduce a concept called, what should we call it? Hyper synergy. Jane and Alice has, in my opinion, hyper synergy, and it synergizes exponentially. The more investment you have in either one of them, the more the synergy grows. Now, Jane's M1 is a good one, but the big kicker is Jane's M2. Now, Jane's M2 allows the assaults of the entire team, not only from Jane, to bypass 15% of an enemy's defense. Also, the critted assaults, they gain an additional 50% crit damage. So the crit damage goes up from 50 to 100%, which is a massive boost in a team with Alice, This is a super big boost to like Jane on her own, and this is her best mindscape. But you pair it up with Alice, and we have like the pinnacle of hyper synergy going. Now, what also makes this team so incredibly potent is that Alice's like polarized assault can bypass the internal cooldown of assault. Because Alice's Starshine Waltz does not care like how long ago the last assault proc, it just happens. Now that's primarily what Jane brings to the table, and now let's talk about Alice's side of things. One of the many things that enables this insane comp is Alice's core passive, Twin Rainbows of the Sword Heart. And if we read at the top row, whenever any squad members inflict physical anomaly on an enemy, Alice deals additional damage, each 0.95 seconds of its active duration, equal to 2.5% of the original physical anomaly damage. Now, if you have a few mindscapes on any of these two, you will be seeing assaults for like 5 million, especially during stun windows, and 2.5% of 5 million would be 100,000. So we're talking 100,000 damage, ticking faster than once every second, which is, as you can understand, very, very goddamn good. Although, like I said, this is just a small part of why like this is so goddamn strong. Alice also increases disorder damage by up to 180%, and she can disorder with assault. Very important. Also, everybody, say hello to Casca. She just woke up from a little bit of a nap, so I'll take her outside. She's still sleepy, so let's put her on the bed. And now I present to you all Puppy Cam. Alright, where were we? So, base kit, they have a very nice synergy, especially like the more investment we have into either one of them. Now, all 3 physical anomaly characters we have in the game, Piper, Jane, Alice, they all work around their assault, which is what happens once we've stacked up enough physical anomaly buildup. It is the big thing when it comes to physical anomaly agent, and it's probably gonna stay that way. Now, with the investment, Alice and Jane, they skyrocket together because of the hyper synergy that we talked about earlier. So the stronger one becomes, the stronger the other one becomes. And this is a feature, not a bug. There's a reason why Jane allows other characters to also benefit of her like special thing, and there is a reason why Alice's kit allows other characters to benefit from it, even if she is not the one causing assaults. Mindscape 1 is a good one. When Alice triggers a polarized assault, which is her special assault that she can do when she does a fully like charged up Starshine Waltz, which is her whole basic attack. Whenever she does this, she gains 25 blade etiquette, and when she triggers assault against an enemy, the target's defense is reduced by 20% for 30 seconds. Once again here, she allows her entire team to benefit of this, like not just herself. A lot of times you will have text like this, but it doesn't like reduce the defense of an enemy. It allows your character's specific attack to bypass this much. But this enables like the rest of your team, and this is one of the reasons why like the core idea behind Anomaly is stronger from a meta perspective, like rather than attackers, because Anomaly characters benefit from each other. Meanwhile, for attackers, we haven't seen that yet. So this one obviously helps with damage, because assaults now like can bypass more defense, and it also helps with like cycling, because every time we use 300 blade etiquette, we gain 25 back. So over the course of like 3 minutes, which is a deadly assault run, we will see more assaults happening in total. Very good. But the real popper is her M2. When Ultimate Starfall Finale's finishing move hits an enemy, it triggers Polarized Assault. So now her ultimate also comes with the Polarized Assault effect, which is insanely good. And notice the wording here. All squad members' assault damage increased by 15%. Once again, all squad members. This is how they want assault teams to be. It's a feature, not a bug. Also, disorder damage against enemies suffering from physical anomaly increases by 15%. And she also gains 1000 decibels when entering combat. So, once again, more assaults happening over the course of an encounter, which is why this is insanely good. Now, you pair that up with the fact that Jane allows all of those assaults to critical hit, which, basically means that they do twice the amount of damage as well, and you can understand why this is such an insane combo. And finally, Yusua's place in the team, she is the designated anomaly support that we have, and her mindscapes help, but she is definitely like the more interchangeable out of the entire bunch. But she increases attribute anomaly damage, disorder damage, and she also helps massively with like alt cycling at M2. So these characters put together at M2, they become the strongest team in the game, because they all hyper synergize with each other. Now, number 4, let's call this track record. The main reason why people have, a gripe with this is that it outperforms Miyabi like fully invested. But Miyabi is one of those characters, like as soon as anybody comes creeping up on her, a loud part of the community is gonna just thoroughly scream. Which is why I woe the day when I have to cover like the next Ice Anomaly character. And if I have to say that, they are stronger than Miyabi, I expect that, people are gonna come to my house and murder me. Because Miyabi is extra special, she's a Void Hunter, she should stand at the top, no one should ever, decrown her, and she should remain the strongest in the game for, eternity to come. And wouldn't that be lovely if that was the case? But Zenless Zone Zero is a gacha game. Most gacha games, they have like the special type of units. Genshin, they have their Archons. Honkai Star Rail have their Emanators, we have our Void Hunters. Whenever a new special one comes out, they raise the bar. Like, they are usually significantly better than anything we've seen before. But they raised the bar, but after they raised it, people are kind of free to jump over that, even if we don't like it. As the game progresses, characters are gonna get stronger, they are not gonna get weaker. The special type of elite characters, they might stand out for a longer time than other characters, but eventually they will also get power crept, because that is just the nature of the genre. Genshin, for example, released with Venti as the first event character, and he is the Wind Archon. From a lore and world perspective, Venti, he should have remained cracked. Venti did not remain cracked. Venti got outdone incredibly fast. And Eula, for example, which was my absolute goddamn favorite Genshin character and my go-to team. I had more money than sense, and I maxed her out both weapon and her constellations. Oh, actually only refinement rank 4, I'm a fake fan. But right now in Genshin, they are releasing A rank or 4-star characters that, outperform my Eula. It is the nature of the genre, the special type of characters, they usually tend to stay relevant for a bit longer than your normal characters, but usually sooner rather than later, even your special character, will start to fade a little bit compared to the new shiny. And like I said, this is kicking up such a fuss just simply because it is Miyabi we're talking about. When Miyabi came out, nobody, at least not that I saw, batted a single eye that, Miyabi in a mono ice team outperformed an M6R5 Ellen team. That was more of a case of people pointing fingers and saying, haha, look at Ellen. But I can hear the counter argument being typed out. But Hako, that is because Miyabi is special, she's a Void Hunter, and she's very popular, so she's allowed to do that. Well, that doesn't change the fact that, even though Ellen isn't a special Void Hunter, I, still paid the same amount of pulls as an M6 Miyabi haver would. And when that happened, did I regret, investing into Ellen? No, I did not, because I invested fully knowing that, she isn't gonna be, the Ice Queen for very long, but usable and good for an extended time to come. And that is basically what Mindscapes are. They are a little bit of an investment to make your character, last longer, so you can comfortably clear content with them for a longer time to come. Sometimes the Mindscapes are very fun as well, so it really shakes up how the character plays. But for the most part, Mindscapes are to extend the character's, lifespan. Now, number 5. Why do I think that this is a hard problem to fix if they wanted to fix it? We have 2 routes to go. Either we nerf Jane, which, it is an option. There were rumors of a Jane buff, so here's your Jane buff, she gets nerfed. They're not going that route. The other route would be to nerf Alice. And I see very little ways of doing this that wouldn't kill Alice. As long as Alice remains an anomaly character, a physical anomaly character who relies on assaults to do the most chunk of her damage, her being paired up with an M2 Jane or even further is always gonna be such a crazy combo. And even if you remove the extra assault from Alice's M2, one, you'd have to give her something of similar proportion in terms of strength. But even if you just remove that part altogether, it would still be an insanely strong combo. And let me tell you, it gets even crazier if you have Jane at M4. And once again, do you see the wording when any squad member triggers assault or disorder? This was always the intended plans for physical anomaly agents. What we're seeing is a feature, it is not a bug. And for people worried that Jane wasn't gonna stay like relevant after Alice, this is one of the ways how she stays relevant. Now, for number 6, will it be nerfed? In my honest opinion, I see no hints of it being addressed or nerfed in any way. Now, whenever a new character comes out, it first goes on beta servers where like people beta test them to like try to like tune the characters. I am not on those servers, I am on the next step after that. Once the dev team is kinda happy with the character like on the beta servers, everything looks fine, then they release it on the creator servers. And that's where I come in. I have access to the creator server. So once a character ends up there, they're kinda done tweaking them, although historically there have been changes happening while they're still on there, usually they're not super big. And when that happens, they let us creators know about it. There has been not a single whisper of a talk of them nerfing Alice in any way to make her synergize worse with Jane. So that's reason number 1 why I don't think it's happening. Reason number 2, like I've said, this is a feature, it is not a bug. Now for number 7, will it break the game? In my opinion, no. Alice is a very good and potent new anomaly carry that has a hyper synergy with an existing character in the game, Jane Doe. And when you do reach a certain investment level with them both, they become really good together. Now the most common counter argument against this is like, oh, this new shiny team, they can do it with a third of the cost and like even do it better than like a fully startup Miyabi team where everybody's M6 and everybody has like a fully startup engine. And that makes it a 36 cost team versus a 12 cost team. So the character is 1 cost, mines get 1 another cost, mines get 2 another cost, and the engine is like 4 cost per character in the Alice M2 team. Now when you cast that light on it, it does sound kinda bad. My gripe with like comparing it like that is that the costs are not equal. I've seen Astraya using this example, so let's go with her. Now her fully starred up like M6 with a refinement 5 engine would put her at 12 cost like just herself alone. And here comes my gripe. Astra at a 4 cost investment, so M2 with 1 engine, is like 90% as strong as a 12 cost Astra. Because anything past M2 doesn't really help out with buffing like, you know, a cracked Miyabi. Now I don't have Astra's engine to show it, but imagine her engine as well. Her engine 5-star compared to her engine at 1-star, in the grand scheme of things, does a very slim like bit of difference. But the cost for refining her engine gets, you know, the same value as the character itself, her M1 and her M2 that are really good. And most characters, especially the supporting cost, like they lose a lot of efficiency in the manscapes after M2. I know this firsthand. I maxed 2 characters in this game, it's Ellen and it is Caesar. Now you might be thinking, wow, M6 Caesar, that's insane, but M6 Caesar, you know, the overall increase in value, having M6 or having M2, like we're talking a few percentage, because the M6 isn't that great, and same goes for the M4. So an M6 Caesar versus an M2 Caesar, when it comes to like supporting a very potent carry, it's a very slim increase. Same with lighter or any sort of like stun or support character, 1 and 2 from manscapes are usually very cracked, after that they taper off a lot. And for the investment level you'd have to put into like the Alice team, you could get an M6 Miyabi or an M6 Yishuan. And the fact that those very potent M6s in the game exists have done nothing to break the balance of the game. And the M6 teams that we have in the game that are super strong, they are still just as strong. And it's not about like, oh no, those teams cannot clear content anymore, or normal teams cannot clear content anymore. And from how I'm understanding it, this originates from like the top 0.001% that are used to clearing endgame content, where we have 5 minutes, they clear it in half a minute. And now there's a team that can do it slightly faster than that, and that is quite a bit more affordable. Now for the last one, number 8, let's call it the bright side. Now there's a saying in Sweden, I'm not sure if this is an international saying or not, but it goes like this: an optimist and a pessimist, they are right around an equal like amount of time, but the optimist has a much more fun time. So, on the bright side of things, we now have a new 2.1 agent that makes such good use of an old 1.1 agent. And this is obviously great for Jane's fans and for like Jane's longevity, and it might also tell us something about the future. For example, the next physical anomaly agent after Alice, I'm assuming also is gonna work on assaults, so you know, maybe Jane is gonna be as good as a sub DPS for them as she is for Alice. And second really good thing, an old character being able to like power lift a new character in this manner obviously could be a very good thing for the future. One of the best ways to like buff old characters is to release either new disc set or other new agents that synergizes with the old agent in a new way to make them relevant again. And remember, these devs have said that they are committed to keeping old agents relevant in both story and in combat, and just look at the LM buffs. The LM buffs were not a one-time thing, and more agents will receive that same treatment, I am sure of it. So everybody, let's wrap it up. This has gone on for long enough. And remember, there has been so much Doom posting since day one, and I can't think of a single time where they were correct. Do you remember the miasma shields? Let me and your fellow community members know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? And remember, even in disagreement, let's keep a good tone against one another, shall we? Everybody, as always, thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, have a big hug, and Hako out.